Hi friends, it's Cassie. Welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. Today we're going to be making a background. I'm very excited about it, and we're going to be doing some coloring as well. But let's talk about what we're using. This is the It's Sherbet Day stamp and matching die. And we also have the layered ice cream cone. So we're going to use this for our background, and I'm super excited about how it turns out. Let's go ahead and stamp our image first. I'm going to put that into my MISTI. I've got some Express It cardstock, and I'm going to ink up my image using some Blackout ink by Ink on 3. We'll stamp that down a couple of times to make sure that I have a nice crisp black image. And we are going to do some Copic coloring. Those go very well together. So I'll do my best to put up all the colors on the screen. And we've got this double time, so this is not as fast as I color. I color much slower than this, but I love this little image. We're going to make him a vanilla ice cream cone. If you watch me at all, I've mentioned that I am definitely a salty snack kind of person, but if you put ice cream in front of me, very rarely do I say no. However, if I had to pick a favorite, I will always pick vanilla. I say that because you can doll it up however you want. Put fudge on it, put caramel on it, put sprinkles, put nuts, put whatever you want. And I think that's why I like it so much, because you can just doctor it up however you want. Except the cherry. I'm not a cherry fan. I have tried. I don't like the maraschino cherries. I don't even like fresh ones. It's the one fruit that I just cannot eat because I just don't care for it. But anyway, on to our coloring. As you notice, I like to do lightest to darkest, and this is a fairly simple image to color. Look at how his beard is. Is that not adorable that it's like a little swirl from an ice cream cone, and his hat looks like a sugar cone. How cute is that? So if you flipped him upside down, it'd almost look like an ice cream cone. But we're just adding a little bit of color here and there as far as dark and light. For our cherry, I've got R24. I'm going to come in with an R29. And we're just adding the shadowing where I think it would look good. And then I do bring in an R89 for extra drama. And then I work backwards from there. That blending, when you do that, it really makes it pop. And it really does make it look like a cherry. So super fun. And we'll color his stem. And then onto his sugar cone hat, we've got some E35. I love coloring up these little gnomes. Their hats are fun. They're just so cute, and I just love how his little beard looks like a swirl. I know the design team, I think I saw one where somebody made his little beard look like actual sherbet, like a rainbow of sherbet. It was so cool. All right, we're going to finish up his hat here in just a second, and then we're going to move on to bringing in the matching die. So I love that this die set, or this stamp, has the matching dies for not only our little guy, but also a separate one for sprinkles, so you can make all sorts of colored sprinkles, and one for each of the words. Miles came in, did some quality control. I think he was impressed, so he left. There you go. I went ahead and die cut all of our layered ice cream cones. We've got a couple of strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. And I want to add some dimension to those, so we're going to do a little bit of ink blending. For our strawberry, we've got worn lipstick. I'm just going to blend that all along the edges. Just adds a little bit of depth to that. Then for our vanilla, we have some scattered straw. Again, just adding a little bit of depth there. And for our cones themselves, we've got some brushed corduroy. And then for our chocolate, we have ground espresso. I like how this die is definitely a layering die. That's why it's called the layered ice cream cone. I'm not going to layer it up, but I do like that the cone and the ice cream itself match up perfectly, so that way you could layer it on there. I'm not going to do it that way. I am going to slightly layer it on top of the cone because I want to make my background using these. But like I said, they line up perfectly right. They go snug right next to each other if you're layering them on top of like the shadow. So we'll do all of our chocolate, all of our vanilla, and all of our strawberry. And when I have that arranged how I think I like it, this is a 5x7 piece of white cardstock. I'm just going to go ahead and glue those down, not caring that there's going to be stuff sticking off the edge. I love when that happens. It gives the illusion that there's more going on outside of the card. I'll even save some of those pieces after I get everything glued on there. We're going to take our guillotine trimmer and we're going to trim off all of the excess. And then I'm actually going to save all of that excess. I like to do that and then add it in areas where I think it's kind of lacking on the sides. And then it just makes it seem a lot more full, which is fun. So we'll just trim all those off, and then I'll kind of play around with placement with those, and then I can add those too. Right now it looks pretty cool, but just adding those extra pieces, I think it takes it to the next level, which is so fun. All right, and then once I get that last piece up on there, I'm going to bring in the A7 Modern Embossed layering dies. If you watch me at all, you know I absolutely adore this die set, especially when making 5x7s, because it puts this really cool embossed edge all around it. It gives it this finished look. I'm going to show you that. I just love how that looks. It's so cool. And then I'm going to take this background because I can't stop there, and I'm going to do some splatter. Instead of adding sprinkles, these are going to be like my sprinkles. This is the golden palette that Trinity has. And they don't have this exact one. They have a smaller version, which means it's a little less expensive. And I'll have that one linked down below. But this one, this is what you're going to get. So check that out. Check out all that beautiful splatter. I love how that looks. We're going to let that dry, and then we're going to stamp out our sentiment. We're going to use a sentiment from both the It's Sherbet Day and the Layered Ice Cream Cone. I'm going to stamp out this one from It's Sherbet Day, and it says, "You make life sweet." I'll cover that with some white embossing powder, and then I'll heat set that till that is smooth and melted. And then I'm going to bring in the matching die. Like I said, this die set has dies for all of the sentiments as well, and I love it when Trinity Stamps does that. So we'll tack that down, and then I'm also going to bring in this, the dies or the sentiments from the Layered Ice Cream Cone. So we've got the shadow for sweet, and then we also have the word sweet itself. We're going to put some liquid glue on the back of that. We're using our reverse tweezers. Put that liquid glue on there, and then we'll put that down on top of the black shadow. That'll make it really pop when the time comes. We'll put some 3D foam squares on the back of our little gnome, peel off all of that release paper, and then we'll pop him down onto our panel. And then we're going to use liquid glue to adhere down our sentiments. But before I do that, I need to cut off the word sweet on this one. I like how these just go together because it says "You make life sweet," but I cut off the sweet, and we're using sweet from the Layered Ice Cream Cone. Isn't that fun? So now we'll glue those down using that liquid glue. You could pop those up with foam squares, but I decided we'd just leave those down there. And then I'm going to use a card blank. It's already a 5x7 card blank. I like using those. And I'll just glue this down to the front of that card base. And I have a little bit of a white border because I didn't use the biggest die from the Modern Embossed A7. I used the second biggest. I am going to stamp on the inside, so we're just putting this into our MISTI. Should have done this ahead of time. But we're going to put that inside of our MISTI. We're going to ink that up with some Marilyn Red ink on 3 ink. Stamp that down, and then I'm going to stamp another sentiment from our It's Sherbet Day. And that one says, "You're the coolest." So this will make a fun thank you, I think. I'll stamp it a couple times because I didn't get it stamped very good the first time. And then I can't stop there. I've got to do some more embellishing. So I'm bringing in these milk glass embellishments. They're beautiful gems, and they just go so well on that background. And I went pretty heavy-handed with those, did lots of them, and I put them all around our image. So stinking cute, and I love how they just kind of pop on that background. Those might become a new favorite of mine. And then I had to do more, so I brought in my glossy accents. I'm going to put that on the cherry, and I'm also going to put it on the word sweet. And when I'm done with that, that's going to finish off our card. So I'll show you what that looks like up close. I love how this turned out. Like I said, I don't know, I may not give this one up. He's so cute. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.